Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Chitas. We're in Parshas Ekev for Thursday. It's a wonderful, wonderful Thursday morning. I can already start feeling the Shabbos in the air, and it's exciting. Okay, so we're continuing with the narration of Moshe. Moshe continues, V'ata Yisrael, Ma Hashem Elokecha Shel Mimecha. Oh, and now, Israel, what does Hashem, your God, ask of you? Ki'im liyiras Hashem Elokecha. Only to fear God. Lalechas b'chol drachav, to go, to walk in all of His ways. Ula'ava oisai, to love Him. Ula'avda Hashem, and to serve Him. B'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha. That's all. That's all. That's all God asks, that we fear Him, that we walk in His ways, that we love Him, that we worship Him and serve Him, and that we love Him with all of our heart and all our soul. Let's look at Rashi. The Ata Yisrael, and now, O Israel, even though you did all this, all the above that we talked about in the last couple of days, His mercy and His affection are still upon you. And with all you have sinned against Him, He demands nothing of you except only fear, love, and that you follow His ways. Oh, this is an interesting Rashi. Only to fear Hashem. So there's a famous saying that the Rabbi Seinu, that the rabbis derived from this pasuk. Hakol bidei shamayim chutz miyira shamayim. Everything is in the hands of heaven except the fear of heaven. In other words, everything is predestined. There's a whole discussion about this, how free choice but everything is destined from Hashem. There's a creator of the world who has decided how things will go. Now you can impact that. Like a captain of a cruise ship still doesn't decide how he knows the destination that the cruise ship will go, but how the people behave, who's going to be villains and who's going to be great people on the cruise ship, that is up to you. But everything is in the hands of heaven except for yiras shamayim, fear of heaven. That is a free choice if you're going to have fear of heaven or not. Okay, lishmar es mitzvahs Hashem, to keep the commandments of Hashem, ves chukaisav, and His statutes, asher anechi mitzavecha hayom l'tov lach, which I commanded you this day for your good. Hein la Hashem Elokecha, behold, Hashem Elokecha, Hashemayim u'shmei Hashemayim ha'aretz v'chol asher ba. Behold, to Hashem your God belong the heavens and the heavens of the heavens, the earth and all that is in it. The whole universe. That's what Rashi says. Only are your forefathers, Hashem desired to love them. And He chose their children after them. Out of all the people, as it is this day. And you shall circumcise the foreskin of your heart. And be no more stiff-necked. Ki Hashem Elokecha, who Elokei Elohim v'adinei adonim ha'kel hagadol hagibar v'hanera asher lo yisef panim v'lo yikach sheicha. For the Lord your God is God of gods and the Lord of the lords, the great and mighty, awesome God, who will show no favor nor will He take any bribe. What does it mean, the Lord of lords? Meaning that no Lord will be able to deliver you from His hand. He's the most powerful, who will show no favor if you cast off His yoke, nor will He take a bribe to appease Him with money. You can't appease God with money. I say mishpat Yasim va'almana v'oyev ger lases leilechem v'simla. He executes the judgment of the orphan and the widow, and he loves the stranger and gives him bread and clothing. So he executes judgment of the orphan and the widow. Previously in verse number 17, the pasuk right before, right, just right above, we describe God's power. Now, alongside his power, we talk about his humility. And he loves the stranger to give him bread and clothing. And this provision of bread and clothing is a matter of great importance, for the very essence of our father Jacob prayed for this. As it says, and he will give me bread to eat and a garment to wear. So we see these are critical things of bread and clothing, and Hashem will give that to the stranger. You shall love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You know, it says to love the stranger many, many, many more times than it says you should love your fellow. The stranger, I don't know, maybe it's 10 times more. It says to love the stranger. We have to put extra effort. Your fellow, it's easy to love, or it's easier, I should say, to love. The stranger takes a little bit of effort. As Hashem alekecha tira oisai, you shall fear the Lord your Hashem. Tavoid by, you should worship him. Tidbaik ubishmoi tishba, cleave to him and swear by his name. You shall fear your God and worship him and cleave to him. After you have all these qualities, then you may swear by his name. Don't use Hashem's name before you first have acquired the proper level of fear for him and the proper level of worshiping and the proper level of cleaving. Then you could swear by his name. Pasuk number 21. He is your praise and he is your God, who did these great and awesome things for you, which your eyes have seen. Bishivim, nafesh, yordu avesach min Mitzrayim. With 70 souls, your forefathers descended to Egypt. Shemecha. And now the Lord your God has made you as the stars of the heaven in abundance. We came down as a small nation and we left as a great, powerful nation. Chapter number 11, let us continue. Therefore you shall love your God, love the Lord your God. Ushmarta mishmarti toiv v'chukaisav v'mishpatav v'mitzvoisav kol yamim. Keep his chukaisav, his statutes, his mishpatim, his ordinances, his commandments, all the days. V'yidaitim hayom ki lo es b'nechem asher lo yadu v'asher lo yirau. You shall know this day that I speak not with your children who do not know and who do not see. As Musar Hashem aleikechem, as God leves yada chazaka ozrayim tuya. I'm not speaking to people who have not seen his great, strong hand, his outstretched arm. Right? You guys know all of this. You guys have seen all of this. This is Moshe talking to the Jewish people. His signs and his deeds that he did to Egypt and to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and to his entire land. And what he did to the army of Egypt, right? With the Red Sea. Sorry, I said that already. L'susav ul to its horse chariots and its horses, asher hatzif as may yamsuf al pneim, that he caused the waters of the Red Sea to fall on top of them, Radfam achareim, when they were pursuing you. Vayabdim Hashem adayim mazah, and Hashem destroyed them to this day. So you've seen the miracles. and the greatness. And what God did for you in the desert until this very day. And what he did to Dasan and Aviram, the sons of Eliav, the son of Reuven, that the earth opened its mouth regarding the story of Korach. It opened its mouth, Vativlam, and swallowed them up. Ves Batem, Ves Aleim, Ves Kol Hayukum Asher Baragleim Bekarav Yisrael, and it swallowed up their households and their tents and all their possessions that were at their feet, that were in the midst of the Yidden. In other words, it was obviously a miracle that just took Korach and all Dasan and Aviram and all of the things that belonged to them and swallowed them up. Okay. But your eyes, which have seen all the great work of the Lord which he did. This is connected to the verse stated above, that I speak not with your children who did not know, but rather with you. Your eyes have seen. To you whose eyes have seen. Ushmartem as kol mitzvah, excuse me. Therefore, keep all the mitzvahs that I commanded to you this day. Laman techazku uvasem virishtem esa'arz asher atem ovrim shama l'rishta, in order that you may be strong and come and possess the land to which you are crossing to possess it. Laman tarichu yom ala adama, and in order that you may prolong your lives, your days on this earth, asher nishba Hashem la'avaseichem, that God swore to your fathers, Laseslam Lazarim, to give to their children, Eretz Zavas Chalav Udvash, a land flowing with milk and honey. So comparative to the last couple of chitas that we've been learning, the chumash that we've been learning the last couple of days, those were a little bit those were on the negative of the Jewish people. And here we're seeing the beauty of Hashem's embracing of the Jewish people and the responsibilities we have because of that. Okay, let us go to today's Tanya. We are starting chapter 6. Let's go to it. Zeireyat tzedakah secher emes. This is from Mishlei. He who sows tzedakah has a reward of truth. Perush. This means Sischar zriyas tzedakah himidas hachesed. I'm sorry, himidas emes. That the attribute of truth, the reward, is the God-given reward for sowing tzedakah. So if you sow tzedakah, you get truth. Okay, let's look at this note. The term "this means," right? Perush. The word perush, this means, is generally used to forestall an alternative interpretation. Like, in other words, you might have thought that it's this. You might have thought that it's one explanation. Perush, it's this one. Here too, by this term, the Alter Rebbe stresses that we are to understand the Hebrew root word secher to be schar, to mean reward. Rather, it's being the word secher to mean reward, rather than it's being understood to mean closing off and restraining. The latter interpretation is that of Rashi, closing off and restraining. A parallel term is the word vayischru in the verse, and the well springs of the deep were sealed. So it can also mean it can be sealed if it was secher as the literal Rashi, and over here we're learning it to learn it as schar, which means reward. Furthermore, even the Targum and other commentaries who do read secher to mean payment of a reward can be understood to mean that the individual who sows charity receives a true reward, an everlasting reward, rather than the reward that consists of truth. The Alter Rebbe therefore specifies this means that the reward granted from above for sowing tzedakah is the attribute of truth. Okay, so there's two aspects that the Alter Rebbe is learning from this word sechar. First of all, schar, reward, not blockage or sealing, as the more common or literal, but a more mystical translation would be schar. And even according to those who do translate it as schar, like the Targum, they may learn that emes, that it's just that you get, it's not that you get the reward of truth, but that you get a true reward, like an everlasting reward. But what the Alter Rebbe is saying is that you get truth is the reward. What does that mean? What is truth? What is truth, the reward? So let's go into it. Uksiv titin emes leYaakov is written, you give truth to onto Jacob. So again, it seems like truth is granted from above. According to the commentaries of Rashi and Targum, however, this verse does not describe a state of affairs. Rather, it petitions that God give truth unto Yaakov, not that Yaakov got truth. That he fulfilled for Jacob's children the truthful promises that he had made to Jacob. Hence, this verse does not prove that the attribute of truth is a gift granted from above. The Alter Rebbe therefore goes on to specify that this verse is to be understood in the same light as the verse quoted at the outset of the epistle as follows. Okay, so, and we're going to continue reading. So, both psukim, Titin Emes LeYaakov, and the first one that we just read, Zerei Tzedakah Sechar Emes, the Alter Rebbe is learning in ways that emes is given. It's given as a reward for tzedakah, like we see that it was given to Yaakov. Okay. Ushvacha de kuchabrichu mesader nevia, k'mo shekasav b'Zohar HaKadosh. And here the prophet Micha speaks of the praises of the Holy One, blessed be, as it is written in the Holy Zohar. I'm actually not 100% sure what the Alter Rebbe means by that. Let's actually go. Pirush, this means Shakadosh Baruch Hu anoisen midas emes liYaakov. This means that the Holy One, blessed be He, is the one who gives the attribute of truth to Yaakov. We need to understand. Yaakov did not have truth until he got it from God. What does it mean? Titin emes liYaakov, giving truth to Yaakov. Yaakov did not have truth until Hashem gave it to him. This is well into the story of Yaakov. So till then he had no truth. It's well known that Jacob is the attribute of compassion. Abraham is chesed. Yitzchak is gevura, on the other hand, right? And Yaakov is tiferes, or rachamim, compassion. Avodas Hashem b'midas harachamim, and the service of God through rachamim, through compassion. He abba misirus rachamim rabim belev adam al nitus alikus shebnafshay. This comes from an arousal in a man's heart of a profound rachamim, of a profound compassion on the nitus alikim, on the divinely spark of the soul. Which is distant from the light of Hashem, right? The spark is distant from its source, as a man goes into the darkness of the vanities of this world. When a man finds himself straying, forlorn, in a state of spiritual darkness, he can thus awaken within himself a feeling of compassion for the soul spark within him that he himself has banished from the light of its divine source. You can feel rachamim, you can feel sorry. What's the first thing that happens when a baby comes into the world? Starts crying. What am I doing here? My soul doesn't belong here. This is not, there's a tension. There's a tension throughout a person's entire life between the animalistic soul and the godly soul, right? But that tension starts right at birth. Right at birth, you can already see that tension where the nefesh alekis, the godly soul, is saying, "What am I doing here?" And that spark is in darkness in this world. So you can feel a compassion for it. You can feel a rachmanis. Oh yeah, rachmanis on it, right? Visarusa rachmanis, zo, this arousal of compassion, hiba matvuna v'hadas begoidlas Hashem. It's derived from a man's understanding and deep cognition. They're cognitively understanding of the greatness of God. How even the highest subliminal worlds are nothing before God. Because all the vitality that comes from the Hashem that gives the entire vitality to the world, it's a mere ray from a single letter of God's name, of God's blessed name. With the letter, like it says, with the letter Yud, Olam Haba was created, the world to come was created. The spiritual worlds, all of which are included in the term Olam Haba, world to come, were thus all created by means of the single letter Yud of the divine name. So when you think about this, Vihine, Biziv ha'arazu, through this ray and radiance, Shuhu mispashet hachayas mishmayis parech, lahachis elam atachtoinen, through this ray, which is an extension of a life-giving energy that flows from Hashem to animate the higher and lower beings, Hu sheyesh hevdil v'hefresh ben elyonim l'tachtonim. There's a distinction and a difference with respect to the higher and lower beings. So olam hazeh nivra behei, because the lower level, the lower world was created with hey, right? We said olam haba was created with yud, but the olam hazeh, this world was created with the hey. V'chein kol shinuyim hapratim shebechol olam va'olam, and also all the varying details within each world. This is because, like we talked about a while back, this is the difference in the combination of the letters. And also distinction between the dimensions of past, present, and future. And all the variety of events throughout the changing times. All of these too are determined by the different combinations of letters. So when you think about, we're saying right now, when you think about all of this, these are hamshachos, they are coming down, conduits of the chayas and the life forces of Hashem, like we learned earlier. Regarding God's essence, I, God, have not changed. There might be changes in creation, but God himself, he doesn't change. Neither in terms of changes in the progression from the uttermost of levels to the nethermost. Just as he's present in the higher worlds, so too he is present in the lower worlds. God himself is never changed. God himself is no different, like we learned as well earlier. This is really hard to wrap your head around. And the same thing is regarding time. God is exact for God. Past, present, and future are all one. There's no such a concept of time. And God of before creation and God of creation, God after creation is exactly the same. V'hainu mishum shakol ka'ayin be'epes mamesh. This is because everything is nothing. Ka'ayin be'epes is nothing. Lagabe mihusavatz musa compared to God Himself. K'moy ois echad midibure shel adam, like one letter of a man's speech, or even of his thought, lagabe klolus mehus hanefesh v'sichle v'atzmusay, in relation to his entire being and the essence of his entire soul, right? Imagine one letter of speech or one letter of thought compared to the entire human. Al derech mashal, metaphorically speaking, lesakech es ha'ozen, to appease the ear, in order to give finite mortals some inkling of the insignificance of creation in the eyes of the Creator. There is no comparison unto you. I see, one second. I see, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I hear my babies crying. Give me 1 second.
It's adorable.
I know, but I feel like no one's hearing her. 1 second.
Hashem loves to hear the cry of a child.
Well,
And
go take care of her or him.
He is. The Rebbe knows his responsibilities.
Yes, he does.
Oh, the best.
Okay, there's actually a story about this. I apologize, but there's actually a story.
No,
about
don't
this.
apologize. This is wonderful.
There's actually a story about this. So, and I just popped into my head as she was crying. Once, I don't want to botch it. I think it was the Rebbe. One of the Rebbes was studying all through the night, and his child had fallen out of her crib or his crib, but because he was so deep in his studies, he didn't hear his child. Now, I don't have that problem. I was able to hear it, no problem. But he was so deep in his studies that he didn't hear his child crying. And the next, his father, whichever Rebbe it was, his father heard the crying, came down and reprimanded his son, saying, for a child that's crying, you can never be too deep in study that you don't hear your child crying. That's something important. I don't know how she knew to cry at the door that we're studying. Maybe she heard my voice, but she started, but she started crying. Okay, so Molly is going to join us for the rest of the time. Yeah. So we were talking about how compare the world, just like in a parable, the one letter of speech or one letter of thought is nothing in comparison to the totality of a person's intellect or the totality of what a person knows, right? So too for Hashem, compared to the essence of Hashem, one letter creates the entire Olam Haba and Olam Hazeh. I mean, each its own letter. The letter Yud for Olam Haba and the letter Hey for Olam Hazeh. This is insignificant, incomparable to Hashem Himself. This is what we say in prayer. Hamelach hamreimim levade me'ois, the king who is exalted alone from aforetime. Perish Kamoishim Oz. This means that just as aforetime, Kaidim Abriya, Hayahu Levadai, just like before creation, he was alone and apart from him, nothing existed, nothing was any greatness compared to him. Ach ata hu meraymin. Now too he is exalted. Umisnase mimais olam, and beyond the days of the world. Perishu hu roim vinase lamay lamaylam bechinas man hanikra b'shem mimais olam. He is above the dimensions, transcends the dimensions of time. V'hainu lafi shachayis kol yimais olam hu rak bechinas hamelach. This is because the life force of all the days of the world derives solely from the spiritual level of Melach. Let's read this note. Oh, Molly. The axis of present, past, and future, the elements of time, relates only to the spheres of Malchus. Concerning this level, we may differentiate between he reigned in the past, he reigns right now, and he shall reign. However, the sephirot and attributes that are above Malchus transcend the element of time, as is explained elsewhere. It follows, therefore, Harachmanos, let's go back to this about Harachmanos, G'dayla Ma'od Ma'od, Ad HaNitzutz HaSheichin Beguf HaChoshuch VaHa'ofel Mashka Dechivya. That there's an extremely great cause to feel compassion for the spark of Hashem that dwells in the dark and gloomy body, the hide of the snake. So you can feel compassion for this spark, which was part of Hashem and now is stuck in our body. Ha'olu l'kalbol tuma, a body that can contract impurities. And be defiled by various lusts that we all have, God forbid. If not for God serving the man as a shield, and giving him strength and might to wage war with the body, and its passions to triumph over them. Hashem gave us the opportunity Hashem gave us the capability and the opportunity to transform and to overpower our bodily desires and our bodily drives and make them more godly. This is what it means. Adain Uzeinu v'chulu magin yeshenu, master of our strength, shield of our salvation. Today's Tehillim is chapters 104 and 105. It was a pleasure learning with you guys, and I'm going to head out. It was very nice to learn with everyone. Thank you so much.